you know what I'm saying, rock out here for a
Yeah.
minute. But it's so weird. Like they have the True Hilton there in that area, but they need like to do what is that? I'm trying to think right now. They need to use like a home two suites or the embassy suites or one of their other brands there because there's a lot of long-term people that are in the hotel rooms. And I'm like, the True Hotel is not built for that. It's for like 1 or 2 nights max, and you're not staying there all day. Like to have that as my permanent dwelling, like I was sick. I was sick. I was done. Man. Hey, yo, stove gang united. You know what I'm saying? I can see your stove. You can see my stove. It's good. Like we up.
Yeah, stove gang. Yeah, it's every time I see it in the camera, it reminds me I gotta cook. I gotta stop ordering out. Gotta cook more.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I am not cooking tonight.
You said stop doing what? Let me order my Uber Eats while we talking.
There it is. There it is.
Dog, I spend way too much money on Uber Eats, man.
I don't know, man. I don't like paying for delivery and like the extra money there that's involved. It's just
I don't like it,
but you do it all the time. You could just go. When I go get food, I paid for a delivery because it was just like the last resort, like was it 2 weeks ago? But then before then, I hadn't paid for a delivery like in 7 years or maybe even longer than that.
Oh, that's insane. Dude, I order out, and I'm trying to stop this because I'm trying to eat more healthy. But I order out like 2 meals a day.
Wow.
I cook
man, that's a lot.
sometimes.
That's a lot.
I cook breakfast sometimes. That's about it, bro.
2
Like
meals
I'm
a
always
day.
working, man. Like
I know you always work. I know he's actually a very busy man. But
I
like,
literally
Oh, okay.
can't. I don't have time to go like to lunch to go pick something up and come back. That's too
what about
long.
your partner? I mean, do they make food for the kids? Your partner?
Yeah.
Can
But
you
like
get some of that?
no, yeah, I do that
Just for the
sometimes,
kids,
but-
not for him.
No. She does. But sometimes
does.
I'm
Oh,
trying
nice.
to eat vegetarian, and sometimes I'm not. It's weird, man. It depends on the day. Like
Oh, like
today,
you're
I
on
ate.
like a specific.
Yeah, today I ate, but some days I'm like, I want Thai food today, and I want tofu and blah blah blah. So like it's
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
you had
it's
a
different.
vegetarian streak in you. I didn't realize that was a thing that was important to you.
I was vegetarian for 6 years, man. Yeah, I started back eating meat in 2018.
Fucking
I was vegetarian.
why?
How
It
did you
was
stop
dope,
and
man.
how did you start and why did you stop?
I stopped because I started eating far too much rice. And then I started gaining a lot of weight because I was eating like 5 servings of rice. Because I love
Oh,
Thai
man.
food. Like all I like is Thai food. So if I'm getting curry, if I'm getting Thai basil, no matter what I'm getting, it's like 8 pounds of rice, and I was eating all my
Good.
rice.
The
So
curries are
yeah.
good though.
I had there's this there's this Thai restaurant that is near my old place of employment, which is far from me, unfortunately. But like, someone introduced me to that, right? They introduced me to Thai. I had never had Thai food. I was like completely like I didn't know what to expect, right? So like they gave me like the chicken pad Thai, and it was life changing. Shit was life changing. I loved it so
Yeah.
much, and I would go back all the time, and order the same thing. And I would like introduce other people to this restaurant. Like, it was so good. I tried to go to
Yeah.
other Thai restaurants, and I don't know, they just weren't on that level. Like maybe I just found the
Yeah.
peak. I would love
My
to be able to
problem-
make that home. Sorry.
My problem in the States is Thai food isn't actually spicy. Like there isn't a Thai place in the States where you can go to and say, "Hey, I want it really, really spicy," and they give you spicy food. It's always like mild or something. That's my only problem.
I hate spicy food, so All right, for me.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm right there with you, Prime. I can't do it.
All right.
I like
Well,
What
spicy.
hot
y'all doing?
spice flavor spice is good, but just like not hot spice where you're like, I'm not trying to burn my taste
You
buds.
should
I
be.
need
You
those.
should.
I
Yeah,
need
You
those.
don't.
it's
They're meant
so
to be
weird.
burned.
Nah.
I used to do hot food challenges, so I'm like, I
Oh,
like
okay.
really, really spicy stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, I just watched that movie. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Mhm.
Mhm.
10 out of 10.
What's it about?
What's that
Yeah.
about?
Martial
What is
arts
this?
movie, Michelle Yeoh,
Oh,
Chinese
that one.
stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of
10
it.
out of 10.
Everything. What?
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
It
Ain't
looks
they like
really good.
scrapping like everywhere though?
Huh?
I think I seen a trailer. Like, ain't they scrapping everywhere?
Yeah, it's the she's traveling like through like timelines and like many different versions of herself, and it looks really good. Like I've heard only great things about it. I really want to check it out. Was that in theaters or did you go like on a streaming service or I don't know?
Yeah, I went and saw it in in theaters. It was like limited release, I think, because I wanted to see it like from the beginning, and they never had it at my theaters. Only in AMC theaters, and I don't have AMC where I live.
Oh.
And so then today was talking about movies, and then I looked it up, and it was like, oh, it's here. They only had 3 showings, but I just instantly hopped up and saw the 150 showing, and went by myself, and it was freaking amazing. Almost cried in the theater.
Wow. Almost cried.
Nice.
That's
Oh, it's about. Oh, I thought they said rapture.
That's
but it
that's
said
that's an
rupture.
endorsement right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was really
That's up.
hyper good.
You said tears.
Yeah, it got me.
I'm gonna work on that then. I mean I rarely go to the movies. I do only for like Marvel movies at this point, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I mean I hate the movie theaters. I hate movie theaters.
I'm gonna go to the movies and watch it too. I'm gonna go to the movies though, but I'll see it.
I'm guessing he means have sex there. What is that? What you mean?
No.
I don't know.
No,
Oh,
Wait,
you
don't-
mean the other thing? Okay. All right.
wait. I don't know what you're talking about now. I'm talking about. I'm gonna watch it from my home theater.
Yeah. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Prime, did you hate movie theaters before the pandemic?
Yeah. Before. Yeah. Always.
Oh, even before. Always. Oh, okay. Always. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just a part of you.
Well, okay. I mean, the problem is that like the price goes up, and you got to drag your ass there, and you got people being rude around you. And like you can't bring your own food. It's like a whole thing. When I could,
there's a free showing. You can bring your own food. Like I'm telling you, it's dope.
I've heard of that place, right? I visited a few times, right? But like like it seems sketchy, and I always follow the law. For anyone listening, so I'm like, no, not for my innocent virgin eyes. I better get out of here. So
I'm joking. If it's
don't
a dope
some movie theaters have like VIP? Some shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I think that's
mine
just to
does.
get in. Like, there's like VIP seating, or I thought
Yeah,
that's
like
like just
VIP seating.
like the price. Like you can go to a certain amount of movies, and like it's cheaper per month.
I've heard they have like private rooms in some.
They have like private, but you know what? Don't quote me on that. It could just depend on which theater you go to.
I've never heard of that.
Some of them may, some of them may have. Some of them may have it. Some may not.
And you're gonna pay out the ass for that. Like again.
Hey, listen. It's a premium experience, If you're gonna go once or twice a year, right, Brian? You should do it. You should do it.
Marvel does more than once or twice movies per year, but still, like, no, I don't. Like the point is, I don't want to pay that much money. I only go because the big screen experience is good for action movies, and just like this is an action movie, so I'll definitely consider doing that.
Dude, it's so good. It got me to thinking, and I know this isn't the topic today, but it really did get me to thinking about how we Asian people have literally zero qualms, zero problems, like kind of instilling Asian culture in all of their movies. And like I've heard like a complaint that we say where it's like, yo, we want black stories that that are just black movies where it's just black people where it's not really centered around the culture. I've heard people like make those complaints. Like it doesn't have to be about a black story. It could just be black actors in a black movie and then where they're not overly black or whatever. And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know why we've ever complained about that. I think it probably makes the most sense to just, yeah, if I'm watching a black movie with black actors, we can probably center a whole bunch of things that are like nuanced to black culture without, even if the theme isn't a black theme, it can still because there's a bunch of stuff that they instill in those movies that I realize are just like, oh yeah, these are very much nods to specific Asian cultures, from the way they decorate the homes, like literally to just like relationship dynamics between individuals, even though this movie is like it's overly apparent that that's what they're doing. And I feel like we should be doing that with black films too. Like we can instill like black subtle things and themes while just making it a very relatable movie and not have to be spitefully made.
Yeah, it can be done, but
you want to know why people feel that way about those movies? Because every time like it's a black only movie, they have to put in some like black pain or suffering. Like we can't ever just be happy. That's their complaint. That's where it stems from. They want to see a black movie where we're just happy. Like something wrong doesn't have to happen every time. Like we don't have to be fighting racism and you know what I'm saying and all this other stuff.
Sure.
What is a movie?
That's their complaint. That's where that complaint comes from.
Bam, every time, bro. Every time. I just respect you so freaking much because that was my point. Legitimately. If you're going to have a movie, there has to be a conflict. Now, maybe the conflict doesn't have to be poverty, but you do need to have some sort of pain or something. That's what makes the movies rewarding. And I feel like this movie was right. It doesn't have to be race-based.
Come back to KKK every time. Like, you don't have to go fight them.
I feel like
that's how people feel. I'm not saying
KKK that's are Russians, like
yeah. I don't know. I would possibly reword it other than saying that we need to have a conflict. I'd say there needs to be some sort of like adversity that you have to go through. I don't know. I don't know if you need a conflict, just a conflict for that all the time. But
if you're overcoming the adversity, that is the form of conflict.
Well, I mean, it could be.
Don't get wrapped around the word, buddy. Please.
Yeah.
Some sort of thing we're overcoming. Like we're there.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I'm like you said the word, and then it made me think about like how people generalize and stereotype conflict.
I mean,
that's why.
We're here. I'm here. We're talking. We're intelligent. We know that that's not what that means. Let's not.
Yeah, my bad.
Wrap us into the the Twitter straw man. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes, I agree with you. I don't want like it to always be some sort of racial conflict. I don't want it to be overcoming drug selling and all that nonsense. Like we can have other conflicts that are not like
or relationship,
poverty
relationship shit.
I mean, the problem is, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, is that we have so little to choose from when it comes to representation. I think I was saying this the other night, right? We have so little to choose from. Like, okay, so when they talk about movies featuring about Asian stories, right? So let's say manga, right? Turning it to live action, and you talk to Asian Americans, and then you talk to Asians from man, it's about to fall off, the motherland, right? Like if you talk to them, you'll get two different responses. So Asian Americans will get pissed if you white cast it, right? So you like let's give them all English names, right? And make it like the main character a white guy from California, right? Because that's the only way that Americans could possibly relate to the story. Like it's so bullshit. Anyway, they'll get like super upset about that. But if you talk to Asians in Asia, they'll say, "This is great. No, we're happy to have that, right?" They'll say that we want big name American actors who we see on the screens all the time to be playing our stories. But there's a reason why there's a difference there. The difference is that Asians from Asia, right, are consuming Asian media all the time, right? Like
Yeah.
you get to see like the full spectrum of what's possible for like Asian storytelling about like their struggles and everything, right? Good, bad, whatever. It's always there. And so like it's fine to give up this one thing, whatever, right? Now from their perspective, it's getting more prestige because it's getting the Hollywood treatment, and from their perspective, the Hollywood treatment means white people. So it's fine if they give that up, right? But Asians here, well, they're like just like us, right? Most of the stories about white people, right? They're like side characters most of the time, right? Sidekick, Asian nerd who's good at math or some shit, you know? So each individual representation is important to them. And they don't want to give that up. So I think the same thing for us, and that we argue about these things in terms of black media, right, and what it should be like, because we get, you know, so little of it, more than Asians. We get more than Asians, but like we get so little of it, and then so much of it becomes stereotyped, becomes the same fucking thing, right? Becomes the drug dealer, becomes poverty, becomes all that, and like we're more than that. Like we have, like just the gentleman here, right? Like all of our stories are more than that. So,
yeah. Do we feel like we're in a bad place for black media? Like, is there a story involving black people that you like right now? Just because I believe that we're at least in terms of like the things that television is doing. Like, I swear we're in a golden age. I feel like there's a story for black representation in a lot of different avenues right now.
So here's the deal. I think it's kind of rough to like try to like think of an individual story that's not being told, because I'm not a writer, that's right? True. And there's millions of stories being made all the time, and most of the time it's really just following specific story beats. But I would say that I do feel like there still is an underrepresentation of black people on screen, like relative to our percentage of the population, and of course when it comes to lead roles and things like that, and all the advances that we've tried to make in that specific regard are being pushed into an umbrella where they can still continue to dismiss black representation, but then say, well, it's okay because we got the Hispanic representation, or the LGBTQ representation, or the people of color representation.
Disney's making 50% of their films black. Oh, never mind. It's LGBT. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, what they did say was LGBTQ and other underrepresented groups. But because of the fact that it's in that umbrella, you and I both know that, like, I'm pretty sure what
they didn't say black and other underrepresented groups.
Right.
No.
They said LGBTQ.
I read.
They didn't say that.
PDF.
Yeah, they didn't say
just
that.
Said underrepresented groups.
Underrepresented only.
They didn't say LGBTQ in that instance.
Except for in the interview, she literally vocally stated LGBTQ and other underrepresented groups.
No, but hold on, but that's like the focus.
Because
the reason why this is brought up.
I haven't seen the interview, so
it's
I don't
because
know.
of that. So it would be top of mind, obviously. To talk about gay
right.
characters.
So I got you.
About the
I hear you.
That's
so I'm just saying that that's the goal. And what we will see is, as I've been stating, and as we have seen, is that what they will do is, because of the fact that all of these things fit under the penumbra of what is an underrepresented group, they will continue to dismiss black people while they continue to elevate LGBTQ and other minority groups, as we have seen happen consistently throughout the country when it comes to policies, when it comes to representation, and everything else.
You think
I found out they have,
we love immigrants, just not Haitian immigrants, because them niggas is black, right?
The only thing
hearts for the Mexicans.
Or what they do is they combine things. Like the only black character you get is also going to be gay.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, cause when I'm thinking about the Eternals, right? The black guy was the gay one, and then the deaf girl was the black girl. Like they combined it in and made it all part of like, so they felt like, oh, you got your black person, but we're also going to make them gay, so you also get this as well.
I'm sorry,
what
is this?
It's maximal intersectionality, man.
This is pretty fucking messed up, right? Like,
what's messed up about that?
Wait, why?
Oh, you combine them, right? And like it's like not like black people don't have those experiences. Not like black people like aren't gay. Like that's why I just asked you before Smooth talked was that, do you think LGBTQ means white? Right? Like, because LGBTQ does mean black. Like disabled does mean black.
No.
All those things are black
experiences. No, I'll tell you what it is. Black means black. Black means black. And black covers all sorts of varied things. And all of these other things are things that are in addition to being black, right? You can be a black man and a black woman. Being a woman doesn't mean you're black. Being a man doesn't mean you're black. Being black means you're black. And you can be a black man, a black woman, a black gay, a black disabled, a black whatever.
Exactly.
Right? The problem comes is that when you recognize that we're asking for representation, and the typical black experience is not a deaf person. The typical black experience is not an LGBT experience. So while when you can say, yes, that is an intersectional form of blackness, and the intersectional form of blackness deserves its representation, when you make all of the representation this atypical form of blackness, then at this point now you are not
all the representation.
Hold on. Well, in the Eternals experience, in the Eternals movies, literally all of the black experience is okay. It's not just that movie.
It's not just
what we were talking about.
When you look at Black Lightning,
what we were talking about was a trend, but in that specific movie, when we're complaining is because what we're saying is that we're asking for black representation, and very often what they're doing is they're saying we'll give you an atypical intersectional black representation, which is not what we're asking for. While we do think that thing is important, you cannot give us only atypical black representation and then say, well, you got your representation because they're black.
I don't know. There's a lot of examples.
1 second.
But I'll say this one thing, and then I'll throw it to you, GSU, and then Black American Made, who wants to join in. But like Smooth, Black Lightning is even a worse example for you. Black Lightning was about a family, I think it's still on. Is about a family of African Americans who are superheroes, and they all have different experiences. And yeah, one of them is gay. Yeah, but like it's like a father with like 2 daughters and a mother, right? And they all have different experiences. One is the mother is like a fucking scientist. The father is a school principal. And I forget the both the daughters were students at one point. I have to go with the older daughter did.
Oh,
like but like it showed like a wider black community in a wholesome like black experience. But like
great to me.
Like they made a character gay, so I guess that's a problem.
That's not a complaint.
No, that's not
accurate,
I said that.
because that's not what I've complained about.
No, I was talking to you.
No. He was responding to me and why I said that. But really, the reason why I said that was because when they made it, right, it didn't feel genuine. When you look at the CW, it doesn't feel genuine. It literally feels like they always they're inserting it. They're like, okay, let me check this box. Let me check this box. Let me check this box. That's literally the
Black
CW.
Lightning is a black character in DC.
No, when you go through all their shows, when you've watched Flash, when you watch Green Arrow, when you watch when you watch all the shows, and you see that they literally write to demographics. They write to demographics.
No, they don't. No, I'm a big fan of the whole CW show.
Yeah,
the
whole CW is pandering.
They don't.
I don't think they do either.
They're like literally trying to include others, right? And so it's like, oh, now we have diversity, right? But I guess it's not the right kind of diversity. And so I guess it must be terrible. Like, oh, there must be a checklist rather than ever having a genuine want to actually include people. The show Black, they didn't have to do Black Lightning. There was literally no reason for them to do it. They have black characters in other of their franchises if that's what they want to do, right?
But you're doing the dismissive thing.
They focused on this and they have like black creators behind it, but I guess still that's not enough. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right. So basically what you're doing is saying, well, as long as we give you diversity, then you can stop complaining about it. As if we don't have a right, to critique the type of diversity and to demand the representation that we still ask for. You can't we can't ask you for an apple and then you say, well, it's okay, we tossed you a freaking whatever, and then say, well, that's what you asked for. You asked for a fruit. It's like, no, what we want is normative representation. And while we will also recognize that we can have the atypical representation, the black experience is a normative experience, and the normative experience should be normalized and represented in the media, just like everyone else says. If we can take the time to make sure that we are representing the atypical and non-normative experiences, then I think the idea of asking for the normative experience for something like black people who have been in this country for God knows how long, it sounds absolutely absurd to me.
You know who did
I actually think this is true, but I think that Eternals is a bad example of this.
Using the CW. Go ahead, man.
I was saying, I think that I agree with this, but I think that I think the Eternals is a bad example. Not because it was a great movie, but because Brian Tyree Henry is a fantastic actor in general. Like, he was super deserving of his role.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Well, I'm
a great actor, but
he is a gay man. Like he's a gay man.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Because I think it was super like it didn't feel peddled. It felt it was a supernatural thing. Like it wasn't a big element of his character. Like, oh no, my powers don't work when I'm gay. Like he had, you know, like it felt
that
very.
Still doesn't
it
address
was a
what we're
very
talking
natural
about.
inclusion. No, that's what I'm saying. I agree with what you're saying. I think that there's. I think it's the critique is only valid if it seems unnatural. Like if it seems like
it's not. It doesn't matter how natural the gay character is, how pivotal they are to the story. If that's the case, make that character gay. Do whatever you need for the story. Then our complaint is still valid. If the complaint is we're not getting normative black representation in media, I don't care how natural it is. You want to tell the black. You want to tell the broke. You want to tell the broke. You want to tell. You want to tell. You want to. If you want to tell the Brokeback Mountain story with black characters, you have every right to do that. We still have a valid standing complaint that you're not addressing our concern about normative black representation. Talking about how good the actor is has nothing to do with it. But it's bad actors.
I need
don't
actual
care.
Yeah.
What we're asking for is
what it
media
feels like,
representation.
What it feels like, Fanatic, is that like you've seen like one or two things with black queer people, and it's pissed you off for some fucking reason. And now on the other end, right? Like we have we have a lot of black representation now, because I agree with Bam and that like at this particular time we're having a lot more black stories in general, right? We have plenty to choose from where that normative experience is there, right? But for some reason you're laser focused on the queer representation, which at some reason is a fucking problem. But whatever,
it's not.
Right?
We talked about the
give
death
me the
experience
data
earlier.
that proves that that we have that we don't not getting these normative. By normative, apparently you mean straight. Straight is what normative means for you. But whatever.
Not just straight. Also not disabled. Right?
Also
like
not
so like the
disabled,
death experience was one in the Eternals, right? It was a deaf black girl and then a gay black girl. I mean a gay black man. So once again, we didn't have any normative representation.
One in the Eternals, the one movie.
Okay,
Great,
but that's not the only
Marvel.
movie. You look at the new Disney movie with the Cinderella, where you had the fairy godmother who happened to be as flamboyant as they can possibly be.
Let's count them out. And then I'm going to count out a whole bunch.
I mean, you
I
had Nick
don't
Cage,
know.
right? You had you had a show
is,
like Nick Cage as well.
I know, because
if you
you.
want me to, I'll get the data. We've gone through this thing. We've gone through this conversation before, in which case I showed you the data, and we had that argument already. So we already know that this is. We didn't
go through this conversation before. We can make that up. But we didn't do that.
Hey,
we didn't go through this conversation before. We definitely did not do this.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. That might have been a different.
Hey, Fanatic, you had a hosting next to your name again.
Oh, my bad. Let me fix that.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in hearing on what it means to like what is like normative, because like
what I think most representative in culture.
No, not define normative. Like what you mean by
most
that.
Representative.
So you're asking me to define normative? What?
Yeah.
No, not the word. I'm not asking you to define the word. I'm asking you like when you say that, like.
Yeah, I see him to define it.
It's not a black I'm saying like
what are we
doing? No, a quick list, and obviously this doesn't tell everything, but like a lot of like really what we consider normal black experiences. We have Blackish, Atlanta, Insecure, Empire.
Thank you, Bam. That's what I meant.
So the problem that I had with Blackish was that Blackish was literally written by like white trans women, and it was supposed to be something telling the black experience written by white trans people. What are you talking about? We didn't have a black writer there. That's not telling black stories. I'm sorry. It's telling the black experience from the white gaze. I'm not.
Is it representation? Is it representation in writing that you're asking for?
Just let me know.
GAZE. Yeah, that's what I mean. Gaze. GAZE. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What was that?
Is it representation in writing for black people in these shows that you're asking for? Because we don't have that. I would, if that's your critique, that the writing,
it's all of it. It's
for black actors, like no, but that's where it starts, right? That's where the complaint starts, because the CW example that was given was a bad example because of bad writing and probably bad representation. So you end up having that representation that's not as accurate. And when you see it, it's not only is it not normative, it's also the shittiest version of what you could expect.
Not bad representation.
What makes me more sensitive to this is because when you do have like amazing things with amazing representation, then you have these crazy conspiracies that end up taking these things off of the air, like the Amazing Cosby Show. It was one of the best experiences, one of the best representations of black media.
Oh my fucking God! What you've got? Okay, You know
It
what?
wasn't that good.
Whatever the
hold on.
fuck
I wanted to
Fanatic was
I wanted
saying
to ask-
earlier, I don't agree with that. Fuck
I
that.
wanted to ask y'all this too, though, because this is one thing that I got sensitive
No,
to, and I
no.
actually had to talk to one of my friends that's African. I also noticed that, like, it's easier to get a regular African role or normative African role. Like, it's like, yes, we're giving you black representation, and it's like, wait, but this isn't like normal black
What do you
representation.
mean
And
by
like
that? But what do you mean by easier though?
no, if what do I mean by what? Hold on, wait, I didn't hear
Easier.
the question.
Easier.
Easier. I said easier.
Yeah.
What's
What you said?
No,
it's
wait.
Easier. Did I hear you wrong?
maybe the point I'm making? I don't know if I said the word easier. Maybe I did. I don't know. But what I was saying was, like, I feel it's the same thing, like that what we're saying with LGBT or slave movies or like disabilities or African. It's like anything not to be regular black people. Any, like, whatever other intersectional thing you can do to get the most intersectional points, they seem to go for that. It isn't just regular black people like us. And when we think of representation, us is what we want to see. And I'm not saying like we can't have movies with all of those other things. It's just interesting to me that the norm is not the norm, right? And like, and Prime, I feel like you're saying it's unreasonable for us to notice
That's
that
not
the
what I'm
norm
saying at
isn't
all.
the norm
That's
and
not
call
what
it
I'm
out.
saying at all.
So you don't think we're being unreasonable?
No. I think you're making it up that it's easier to get like African stories like on screen than African American stories. I think it's I don't know where you're getting that from. Where's it all coming from? I need some data, baby.
He's saying
I'm
like
not,
just
I'm not saying
representation.
one individual thing. I'm saying that if you collectively add up what black representation looks like, I think the normative experience is less.
Do that
That's
do
what
that
I'm
for
saying.
me. Because I
Yeah, I don't know
have
how to
data
do
here.
this. for you.
If the
Definitely
critique,
not
They're
less.
coming- it's pulling it out of your ass.
Like,
As
like,
far- as
I feel like we can make that
as
objectively
far as
not. We can prove
superhero.
that to be objectively wrong. Like the majority of black characters we see in media are absolutely like.
I'm not
a
talking
straight
about just the
cis-
characters that we see. I'm talking about the characters that matter the most.
like
what?
in those
Okay.
so look, let's narrow our focus.
Fresh Prince was very cis.
So, okay,
Yeah.
What else? 40 years ago. Come on, bro. I'm talking.
I'm saying, but even now, like I said, I could name like 30
Didn't they
shows
didn't they
with,
remake
like,
the
top 5
French?
characters all
They
being
just
they did.
remade that show, didn't they?
Smooth.
okay,
They
so
remade it and they made them do coke. They made somebody
need to
gay.
narrow
They
our
made
focus.
somebody something
Hold
else.
on,
Okay.
let's move talk.
So listen. We need to narrow our focus, right? So if you look at just like superhero movies, right? Like let's just look at comic book and media and all that.
Mhm.
We just narrowing our focus just to that area, right? What did we get? Black Panther and what, like Luke Cage? Like maybe, and that's it.
You talking about movies or characters?
I mean, like,
Wait,
I'm
what?
talking about actually, like,
I mean,
played out on
wasn't Jamie
like,
Foxx a villain
like,
in the one of the Spider-Man movies?
Yes, he was.
Miles Morales. Okay,
I don't
all
complain about Marvel. I don't have this complaint for Marvel. I feel like Marvel went above and beyond with that Black Panther movie. And again, I think they made one of the freaking spider like.
But even Black Panther wasn't black. It wasn't like American black.
Oh, good point.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Killmonger was. Killmonger
Okay,
was.
so what are we talking? So hold on.
Yeah,
Now.
one guy on the continent was American black, and everybody else was
dude.
African.
No, but no. Like,
And he had a single. He had no father or some shit.
But because his father was really killed. But no, like
Yeah, I guess that's normal though. That's normal.
No. Like that was literally the most compelling bad guy they ever had, right? Like, what do people remember from Black Panther, right? They remember the bad guy, right? Because
Killmonger was great, but that doesn't make it a black African. I don't know.
Okay,
it doesn't make it a black ADOS film.
Yeah, Gambit, I'm gonna need you to.
I think that's a weird thing to blame Marvel for that. Like, Marvel doesn't.
Wait. I'm not blaming anybody.
I'm just saying. Wait, literally what I'm saying is, like, maybe you could hold that to like the Marvel Studios 60 years ago for not having like a big catalog of like American black like heroes to choose from. But like,
I
I don't
want
think that I
Marvel.
don't think they have a bunch of
I
options.
want
there.
Marvel to release a film with niggas in it. That's what I
A good
want.
point.
That's-
Killmonger was African too. Now that I'm thinking about it, Killmonger was African. He was just his dad was African,
He'd
and I
been
think
raised,
I don't
yeah.
even know if he was
So-
even born
so-
here. He was just raised here, so he was actually not African
Not
American
that
either. He
matters,
wasn't
but
ADOS.
like,
Yeah, that's
right.
So the
does.
complaint here is African American representation, then, not black
the point, but the
representation.
point is that like he's saying that
No.
it's easier, right, or whatever adjective you're using here, right? It's easier to get African black people on screen or African black stories
that's not
on
what I
screen
said.
rather than okay. Then what exactly do you mean?
No, I'm talking about the collective of things that aren't whatever we would consider the most normal situated black person in America.
That's not true. That's not true. You got to give me data. I'm sorry. You're just saying that. You're just pulling it out of your ass. You know you're pulling it out of your ass.
No.
Waiting for the
I'm
data.
saying it. I'm saying it from the things that I've seen. I'm just trying to like
Look
from.
at
I don't
Super
consume a lot of media too, so maybe I've only consumed things that have either like non. I can't think of anything. in
What's
recent-
what's
Yeah,
his name? Is it
we'll
Michael
go
B?
with
Is
fight
it-
back on this hard. I feel like me and
I
Will go
mean-
a lot of stuff.
Isn't like Michael didn't like is it Michael B. Jordan? Didn't he didn't he act in like Creed? Wasn't he in like most of the recent movies within the last
They're
2
talking
years as a
about
main
characters.
role?
Creed is one. Creed is a good one.
I think they're talking about characters though, like the character itself. Is
The character
they
itself?
say. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that's what they're talking about.
Like main character
but-
or
but-
like
but-
compelling character.
But that's a
I don't even know
complaint.
A gay main character, like
That's a complaint on the writing and getting black representation.
No.
in
I don't care about the writing.
for the
It's
character.
I don't care about the writing. It's all about who they hire. So it's they're gonna find writers anywhere to write whatever story they want to produce.
No, but those writers have to be black to have the correct or to have a more accurate.
I agree with you, but if I have the money, I can look for the trans writer to write Blackish. That's all I'm saying. Like
I'm saying, I'm pretty sure Black was made by Kenya Barris, who is a black man.
no, it was made by a girl on Twitter that
Yeah, I
tweeted
was gonna
it.
say, well, I know that was the writer. That was one of the.
Yeah, I'm sure there may be
show.
other people involved.
Yeah.
in the writing.
I think
But
she
the show
left
created by Kenya
Netflix.
Barris.
He left Netflix after the Dave Chappelle thing, right? Or something.
Kenya Barris, a man. But they were, as far as I know, the writers. I can look it up right now. But for Blackish, I'm pretty sure he was a producer and a writer on the show. Like the show, like referenced the fact that like he's like a producer and a writer. Like it
was based off of his
constantly-
life, apparently.
Yeah. So like I can look it up.
His raising Dion. That's got like child superhero, like black. I don't know. I think there's a lot. Like I said, I think we're in a really, really good time for black media representation. It depends on how much media you consume. Like if you only see like.
We're in a better time.
No,
I don't know if
so
really good, but yeah, we're in a better time for sure.
Again, I'm not saying like just like, oh, you have these one-offs here and there. I'm talking about the main thing when you go to like what they put what's going to be on primetime television, what's going to be in your movie theater
Is
most of the
niggas.
time, it's not representation of the standard black experience.
No. You put and
saying this is
again,
us?
you're
Unless
pulling
it
it out of
involves
your
some
ass.
sort of-
Find me some
sort of-
data.
some sort of unless it's some sort of like struggle, drugs, or like what is that, racism or like slavery, like that's when you'll get like a standard stereotypical.
Everybody hates Chris.
Okay, so now you're pulling back.
There's more
Kenya
of
Barris,
that.
series
There
writing
is-
credits.
everybody
Kenya
hates
Barris
Chris.
is at the very top. A person named Najeri Brown is also a staff writer, and that sounds like a black name. I don't. You know, they usually don't have pictures for their writers, so it makes it
That's
a bit
internal
more-
racism.
Okay, here I'll
Like-
name you some of the white non-black ones. You got Jonathan Groff, Scott Weinger, Peter Saji, Doug Hall, Gail Lerner, that's the trans
Okay,
person,
whatever.
Lindsay Shockley, Yvette Lee Browser. Actually, I think she might be mixed of some kind. You got Sarah Haskins, Emily Halpin, David Harrington, so Jessica Porter.
So
we
they
can
all
go
have to be
and
black?
no, it's not that they all have to be black, but if like I don't know, 60% of your show, we're talking about a
But the
black
lead
show,
writer is black.
talking about the black experience, and 60% of your writers aren't black.
The
I got a
lead
problem,
writer is
bro.
black. The lead writer is black.
Is he
But
the
Brian,
lead
And
writer?
the producer,
He's the
the
show
lead
creator.
writer,
No,
producer,
he's-
and the actor
you-
are black.
You do recognize that the show creator and the show producer are not the same thing as the show writer, right? Like
No,
because he's
in the
a
writing
person
does
credits,
all
I'm
of
looking at the
those
credits right now. Series writing credits, Kenya Barris at the top, right
Yeah,
there.
he-
IMDb.
yes, he gets to list his names first. You know that they have discretion on whose names are first when it comes to the writing credits and all of those things, right?
Written by. Yes.
Right.
So hold on, but if he's
so is it also written by Gail Lerner? We would have to look and deep dive into the show to find out how many of the episodes he's written versus everyone else, right?
You don't know either. Okay, so that means you don't know.
Don't, right? But I'm not making a claim. You are.
You are.
Okay, no.
I'm sorry. I'm going to state myself very clearly
so
everyone else can understand me when I'm talking.
Hey,
What I said was, if 60% of your writers, if 60% of your writers are not black, then it's hard for me to give it the credit of a black written show. Now, what you said was the lead writer, the main writer was Kenya Barris. Now, what I'm saying is you don't know that, and until you can show that to me, I'm not giving that to you. You're making a claim. I'm not. I'm saying your claim has not been substantiated.
Hold on. One, I don't even think it matters that he's the lead writer. I'm just doing that for you, right? But still, I believe that he is.
Why would you do that for me? That was your claim. I wasn't trying to make that claim.
No, because you're putting some sort of some value.
He's trying to get you
right?
mad.
So, any case, right? He's this dude has literally all the power. Kenya Barris, right? It's his show. Like, he owns the show. He is the star of the show, the focus of the show. He's a writer of the show. He has multiple people of color, including black people, like going through the show. But remember what Fanatic first mentioned, right? The very first thing he mentioned, right? He said it's written by a trans woman. That's what he said, right? That was his focus. It wasn't saying like, oh, it's written by like a group of individuals and that are mostly not black, right? No, the first thing they only focused on is that he's written by a trans woman. That's what you did. That's what you did. And I'm saying, like one, it doesn't matter that we have a trans person on the writing team, right? Because writers write about all kinds of things they may not have their personal experience in, right? But still, they have like a black cast, right? A powerful black cast. It's not like Tracy Harris. I think that's her name. Tracy Harris is a new person, right? Tracy Ellis Ross. Excuse me. But Tracy Ellis Ross is some new actress, right? And whatever script they put in front of her, I guess she's just going to have to do, right? Because she has no input and she's just hoping to keep her job. No, you have a series of powerful black individuals.
Yeah, Anthony Anderson.
And Anthony Anderson too. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, keep going. List them all off. Keep going.
I think there were two. I'm just saying. I think it was.
I'm sorry, but it was 60%.
No one cares. Damn, stop doing that. We're not talking. Like, stop saying.
But
these
you're
really
talking
basic,
about positive
stop saying
representation.
these really basic, uncontested truisms. Where conversations moving forward, don't dial it back to step one of it's a good show. No one cares about that. No one's arguing about that. It could be the best show of all time that has nothing. Okay, well, if that's what you're arguing about, then I'm sorry that you're not able to keep up with the conversation because I'm not arguing whether the show's good or bad. I've not watched the freaking show. That's not what's being contested here. No one's made any statements to that degree or not. What I'm talking about is that we have limited representation of specific black experiences within television. And if the limited representation, within that limited representation, we can't get a majority or we can't get an all black writers of any of our shows, because I know we can all list off. God knows how many shows we can all list off. We can all list off how many shows are in existence right now that are telling a white experience where all of the writers are white.
Where's that goalpost now?
We can't have a single show. We can have a single show where it's about the black experience, where all the black people, where all the writers are black. So then now at this point, and again, yes, that's a movement of the goalpost. Yes, that's a movement of the goalpost. But my original post still stands. I'm just even clarifying even more so.
Something good for
my
that.
original post about the fact that 60% of the writers are non-black still stands. I don't need to move it to all. 60% still stands.
Okay.
So
hold on.
Pointing out that, hey, there's a bunch of writers. I'm sorry, it's a show where the black guy has the most power and all that stuff. Doesn't actually address the problem that we were talking about, where you're talking about one of the very few. Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. I guess if you say that, one of the very few of shows in existence right now that's telling the black experience happens to have a whole bunch of writers on it that aren't black. That's problematic.
What about Insecure?
Hold on. To add to this,
don't bring up Insecure.
I went and looked up the Blackish episode writers. Kenya Barris or Burris, I think, only wrote 3 of the shows in the first season. The rest of them look like
how many
white
episodes were in the
men.
first season?
24.
So 3 out of 24. Was that 12.5%?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that, bro.
I'm not having this conversation
Hold on.
anymore.
Hold on, wait,
Why?
Now I don't know the race of Yvette Bowser.
No, wait a
but-
minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. No. Written by is by a team of individuals, right? So it's like whoever is
The lead,
like,
probably.
friends, like whoever comes up with the initial idea. That's why you have a fucking team. Why would Kenya Barris write even the majority of them? Like or at least come up with the.
You said he was the lead writer. You said he was the majority writer.
Yes,
You said he was the
so-
primary.
Hold on, you don't understand what lead writer is. Like, let me explain it to you. I'll do it slowly.
You think
Don't
he's
worry,
lead
I got
editor? You
right?
think lead writer is lead editor?
Does not necessarily
Okay.
mean that you have to write the majority of the scripts, right? It's just
That's-
like whoever comes up with the idea
Prime,
of
this
the
is
show,
OD.
right? And then
Bro,
others,
creator.
because
That's
there's
not
a
the
team
lead
of
writer. That's the
individuals.
creator.
There's a
Hold on.
team of individuals.
That's the creator, not the writer.
Who
Hold on,
contribute
fam.
to
Don't know what
it,
you're
right?
talking about.
Like Kenya Barris, like the
Prime.
other black people that we mentioned, right?
Prime.
Like, they all contributed. You don't like so. Oh my god! He didn't come up with the idea like about the episode
No,
where
no,
the
no,
daughter,
okay.
right? She kisses
Hey,
a boy.
hey,
He didn't
bro.
think of that himself, and so it must not reflect the black experience. This is a pathetic argument. This is an embarrassing argument. Unbelievable. I guess,
Bro.
what?
And Tyler Perry writes every
Bro,
episode of all of his shows, so that would be
So,
100%
so,
black.
listen. Lead writer
They just
literally means you write most of the stuff. Okay, like that's literally what that is for. Like you are the head writer. You are in the room almost all the time, if not every time. Okay, now being an executive producer, that means you are somebody that's putting in, like, contributing money to the film, and you have authority over that film. Like
Directional
just
control.
a producer means you just contributed funds or whatever you contributed, and that's it. An executive producer actually has executive powers. Just
He's-
keep it
he's
very
an
simple.
executive
Wouldn't it be a smart thing? And then this is something I can actually I absolutely
Let's
can't.
finish.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, but in that regard, so when you really look at this and having him only write 3 episodes, yet he's the lead writer, that is kind of questionable. Because that means he's not really the lead
Look
writer.
at the other
That means
seasons. Oh my god, it gets worse.
somebody else is the lead writers.
It
He's just getting writing
this dude
credits.
wears a bunch of hats, and like there are black people in the writing room.
Prime,
So no,
Prime, look at that
it makes no
goalpost.
difference.
Look at that goalpost.
No.
It's only a lead writer in
Written
name.
written by means you come up with the idea. Like there's
No,
no
no,
point. Was that
written
just
by-
so?
written
Was
by-
one writer who came up with the idea and no
No,
other
no,
writers? Like
Prime. Listen to the guy who's in theater. Listen to him.
No,
He's in there.
Listen to
I
that.
am listening.
Smooth.
I am.
Just let me
Whoa, whoa,
clarify,
pull
means
back,
you just have
pull
to start the concept.
pull back. In the list of credits that GSU Gambit provided, right? It talks about like whoever came up with the idea of that particular script, right? But like, am I smooth? Am I correct or incorrect? That when for any television show, right? Like it's a group of people who contribute to each episode, right? They have a writer's room,
Didn't say that was
a whole writer's room to contribute, right? So,
However,
right?
I'm gonna use another show.
No, am I correct? Am I
No. Because
Am I correct?
here's the thing, though. Your point is not valid for this because
Am I correct or am I incorrect?
When you look at
let him know.
He's
Issa Rae
responding.
is the main
I'm
person
waiting for a
writing
yes or no answer. It's a yes or no
every
question.
episode.
But that isn't. You said lead writer.
No, that's not true.
Issa
That's not true.
is never not in the room writing.
Issa doesn't have many writing credits at all, and this is what my question was, because like when you would create a show, when you're a creator and you're an executive producer, you already have your name in the hat. Like something that's like positive for your team is attaching other people's names to
That's right.
works. Even if you were heavily involved in it, you want to give somebody credit. Like you want to find opportunity to put other people.
Yeah.
in. Like because Issa's explained that Issa's like writing credits for the episodes is like very few, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't involved in the writing process, because she wants the other people who want to be into directing and to doing their own thing,
but
just
she was-
have something to put on
she
their
was in
resume.
the
I have
room.
2 points. I have 2 major points. Number one, the phrase is actually head writer. And as I've just heard from my amazing friend, Mike Merchant, actor extraordinaire, head writer is just the person who gets the final say of what's actually submitted to the studio. That does not mean that person is writing the most. And as even if
didn't
you're
say
saying
that.
that okay, good. So then if he's okay, I'm sorry. you know what? That's my fault, Prime. I've been strawmanning you this whole time, so we can just dial it all back. That's 100% on me. So I guess we both agree then that guy is not writing the most of the show, that he is not one of the main or priority writers, that he's not featured in writing credits on the vast majority of the show. So if we all agree on that thing, then touting his name off when I'm talking about the writers of the show and who's getting the writing credit, it just seemed like maybe there was just a mismatch there. Furthermore, even back in 2018, this writer, creator of the show, was talking about leaving the show specifically because there were tensions involved with ABC deciding that they didn't want to put certain episodes on the show. I'll just read it really quick. Mr. Barris's deteriorating relationship with ABC stems, in part, from the network's decision to pull an episode of the show that examined race relations in America in pointed fashion. So even though he's the head writer, he's still having these same problems, even though he's clearly not the one that's writing the vast majority of the episodes, even getting episodes that tell Black stories on the dang show, and those things are getting pulled by the freaking network. So I don't know why we're acting like this thing is really just telling all the stories of Black folks in the first part. So the 2 points, number one, he's not the lead writer. That's not even a phrase. Number two, he's not the predominant writer on the show. He's only on 12.5%. That was quick math. 12.5% of the episode in the first season. It gets worse moving forward. So if he's not the head writer, why did you keep bringing his name up? Because we were talking about writers, and that nigga's not it.
Up a whole team of writers. That's what I did, right? What you did, right? Let's not forget what how this started, right? Let's make sure that we haven't forgotten history, because he's desperately trying to erase it, right? How did this conversation start in terms of the writing part, right? Is that when we brought up Blackish, he said, "Oh, it's written by a trans woman," right?
I did.
That was his response.
She's written the same amount of shows. She's written the same amount of shows as your boy.
He said written by a trans woman, right? Because that's the problem. That's his problem. It was written by a trans woman, and so I guess it can't embody. It can't have any value. It can't be indicative.
So now we're gonna do straw man thing, because no one even said that.
You don't have Black people who are contributing to the show, right? Like, and Black actors who are acting out this show, who can give their notes and who can put their own spin on the show. None of that happens. Hey guys, there's a trans woman in the room. He didn't say like there's a team of writers and on that team there's a trans person. There's a trans person. It's written by a trans woman. That's what he said. Let's not forget.
Wait, everybody knows that a show isn't one person, Brian.
Absolutely.
Come on.
And furthermore, my mic is attached to my arms, or else I would drop it here. If I bring up the claim that this show is written by a trans writer, and then your retort is to tell me someone else wrote the show who has literally the same amount of writing credits, then obviously you weren't responding to what the freak I'm talking about. And that nigga should have more writing credits.
You didn't want the trans woman in the room. I know.
But if he's a Black person and you're trying to say that he's the biggest writer, but he's writing the same amount as a white trans person talking about a Black experience.
I didn't say anything about the percentage.
I wish I could drop my mic.
I didn't say anything about the percentage. Look, fanatic, move that goalpost. It's the only way you can win this. I know you're desperate, right? Like you got to pick a truck. You want to move that goalpost across the country. But you can't win this argument otherwise, right? Because I remember your words. You're going to try to run away from your words. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not. Okay. I ain't a new guy here, right? So once again, right? All I brought up is that there are Black people on the team, right? Including you have the executive producer. You have you have Kenya Barris, who is also in the writing room. You have a list of other people who have Black sounding names. I don't actually know all the races of everyone, to be very clear about that. But like. I'm not sure if he's talking to me or his audience, but in any case, right? Like I brought up all of that. I never said that he wrote the majority of them. Never said that. But I said there's a team of individuals who work on these episodes. Everyone has input on these things, right? But that's not enough for you. That is enough. And the focus, once again, is the fact that there was a trans woman in the writing room. You said it was written by a trans woman.
A white trans woman. Don't leave out that white part, because we don't have to.
I know. I haven't gotten by it. A white trans woman, and it gets up your butt. I get it. Whatever.
But I was saying, I think the thing that actually like also helps build on the point is like we don't have to stick with that example. If that's not a good example, we can look at Wonder Years, which is one of ABC's new shows. I'm pretty sure Lee Daniels and Don Cheadle. I think they have a lot of writers on the team. They have a pretty cis heteronormative black experience. Doesn't really.
You mentioned Atlanta as well, right?
Yeah, Atlanta. Atlanta's directors aren't you. I think it's crap. It's something Sarah. He's an Asian guy, but Donald Glover does a large portion of the writing himself. I think, even if he doesn't necessarily direct.
I remember the other part of this conversation, right?
So is the writing.
The start of it was that like they were saying that the normative black experience is not the one that you see the majority of. I'm still waiting for data, right? They pulled that out of their ass, like deep out of their balls, right?
Hold on, wait.
That the normative black experience, as you called it, and by normative they mean like non-gay, because gay people, not the same, right?
It's not.
That's not.
Wait.
No, don't try to distract. You said the normative.
No, you're distracted.
The normative black experience is not the majority. Right?
I never even
Where
used
is
the
the
word
data?
normative.
You pulled it out of your ass.
Wait. Okay. All right. Let me finish. Okay. When you want to bring up gay because you feel like your virtue signal gains you points, the thing is, there's multiple things that aren't just gay. There's lots of things around it also that we're also including in this umbrella of atypical behavior or whatever the fuck we want to call it. It's not like it's drug dealing, blah, 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 all of that shit. All of that shit in a pile.
But that's not the only thing on TV. That's not the only thing that's like available.
That's exactly what I brought up. That's exactly what I brought up.
Sorry, maybe not. I don't put words in you or in my just you. Like Smooth brought that up, and then Fanatic jumped on it. So maybe I don't.
Yes, and I jumped in it too, and I said even sometimes the stuff is African and not just black. It wasn't just gay that we were focusing on.
But I'll back on that.
I'm just saying, like with shows that you have on television. The amount of shows that you get that are the Everybody Hates Chris, the Abbott Elementaries, like the well-written ones, the good ones that you get are far and few between versus like these other ones that are like straight, like either they're drug dealing, they're not having a stereotypical experience. Like it's all like just out there.
I mean, Lovecraft Country deals with some level of racism, but it's mostly like magic.
Yeah, Lovecraft Country was kind of cool.
But look, your problem was that like, oh, they're combining minorities, right? That's what you came up with, right? I'm not.
That's what all of us have been saying. All of us have been saying.
Yeah, they do that.
And I thought that was fucked up.
Normally,
I challenged you on it, right? And then you guys made the claim that. And not you, Jess, you can, because maybe you weren't included in this particular group. But Smooth and Fanatic, right, made the erroneous claim that the quote unquote normative experience, which would be a cisgendered one and non-disabled one, that is not the majority of representation that black
majority is a weird word
from our original argument, and it's just that there aren't your regular life, like the standard stuff that me and
Brian, these words are real.
Even if the person is like LGBT, whatever, like they're gay or whatnot, they don't even have a normal experience in life. Like stuff happens, and I'm like, that don't even normally happen in just regular life in general.
No, TV's not meant to be normal. It's supposed to be like exciting. Is there supposed to be like content?
I think Home Improvement is pretty normal.
Exciting and just out there.
I get that was your main complaint, but that wasn't my main complaint.
It's kind of just weird.
Smooth. I get that was your main complaint. That wasn't my main complaint with you. That wasn't the thing that I jumped on. I jumped on this because it was ridiculous comment you made, right? Which Fanatic jumped on, right? And still he's waiting. He's looking for that data. He ain't gonna find that data, but I'm waiting on it. Right?
I'm not looking for the data. We can have a whole panel on this, and I can find it.
Mm-hmm.
No, but hold on. But Prime, like, I don't. First off, it gets really weird when people can't admit things are regular or typical. First off, like that's a virtue signal, Prime. Like you can, oh my God, regular, like just like they were doing in chat earlier. Like y'all understand what the most typical experience is, and it isn't that of LBGT black person.
Okay,
that's just the facts. That's just so like you can't give this knee-jerk reaction when we say normal.
No problem. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Everybody isn't dealing drugs.
Like, that's fine. I agree. I had already agreed on that part. I already agreed on that part. We're not fighting about that part. I talked about like how I don't want that like to be the main source of representation here. Like,
I think what you missed though, Prime, is we were talking about this whole umbrella, and I think you latched on to the LGBT part of it. But that was just that was only a subset of plus drugs, plus
No, it wasn't.
Fanatic went through like 10 things.
Yeah,
I believe you when you say that was for you, right? So I'm not questioning your narrative.
And I heard him say deaf. They brought up the deaf person.
Yes,
they brought up all of that.
Yeah, I was talking about all of it, all encompassing. I'm not talking about just in a bubble where, oh my God, I hate gay people. Like, that's not what.
Yeah, nobody's doing that.
I didn't say that you hate gay people. I didn't say anything about that. Never left my mouth.
Then let that part go.
No, I won't, because that's the part I want to talk about.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
that's not what I was trying to talk about.
I have a problem with the part. That's the part I'm going to talk about. Obviously, I'm talking about the part that I have a problem with, not the part that I don't have a problem with. Obviously,
well, hold on, Prime. But I think this is what they're trying to tell you. The LBGT conversation is a subset of their complaint. So when you try to separate it to talk about it, it's problematic because nobody wants to separate that out. I don't think Smooth does. I don't think Fanatic does.
You're speaking for them, but that's not what happened, right? We can rewind the VOD.
Listen, we both listen. Can we ask them? Can we ask them?
That's you, and I'm not questioning you, right? I pull back on my criticism of you, okay? Right? I'm criticizing Smooth and Fanatic for what they said.
No, but Gambit said some suspicious stuff too, because you were talking about African representation being different. Like you added that in there too.
You don't hold on, wait. You don't think it's different?
So it doesn't count.
Can you
as
answer
part
the question?
No,
do you think it's different? You said Gambit. The problem I have is that you said the African experience is different. Do you think it's different?
When I'm talking about when I say different,
you can't say yes or no. No, I'll listen to you explain it.
Let him figure out what he's saying.
No.
What does he mean?
No, what do you think I mean? What do you think I mean when I say the black? Because we were initially talking about the black experience initially, right?
Yes, I think.
And then you separated it from the African American experience to the African experience.
Is this hard for you?
I'm not saying it's hard for me. I'm saying that I heard you say that.
So let me explain. And
you lumped it into as an issue.
Let me explain.
Oh, I need you to explain that. Yeah.
We've talked about the normative position of black people in this country. Do you think the vast majority of black people in this country are African?
The vast majority of black people in this country are African? No.
Do you think that the people that are African, though they have struggles, do you think it's the same as ADOS people?
Yes.
Okay.
Bro.
That's the case right there.
Okay, so
There's no way going further with a person like that. It's done.
Okay, that's where you lost it. Okay,
that's wild.
You should ask African people. I have lots of African friends. You should ask them if they think the struggles of being a black immigrant are the same as being a black ADOS person in America.
In America, in America, yeah, in America.
No, they're not. They're not even close, bro.
There's literally no reason to entertain an argument like this. Because look, I say this all the time. You can't have a conversation with somebody about like the different parts of speech if a person literally if a person literally doesn't speak the same language.
Hold on.
We can't put on training wheels and dial this back.
An African in chat that's not trying to virtue signal, like Sly said. The African and the ADOS experience is different. We all black, but we are different. That's what KTN said in chat.
There's literally no reason to entertain. If we're gonna have to put on training reels and break down to you what exactly is going on, how are we gonna? That would be its own panel. That it wouldn't be its own panel. That would be its own freaking
infomercial.
No, but it's very. But it's very easy. It is. No, it is very easy. I don't need training wheels. We're currently talking about the issue in media right now, right? Oh. We're currently talking about representation in film, right?
That's not the question that he asked you.
No, but
okay, then trying to explain to me, use film, the example that we're talking about right now.
That's not the question that he asked you.
Are you going to go ahead and separate Africans who are represented in film from African Americans in film?
Yes, I think there's actually a problem with that. I think that
so go ahead and explain it.
The question that he asked you would have fixed that, but you're not. But you don't even understand the question he asked you. So then asking that question, indicates you don't understand the question he asked you.
So it's easy for you to say that I don't understand because I didn't answer his question.
No, because you misrepresented the question that he asked you when you tried to parrot it back. meaning you don't understand the question. And when he asked you the direct question, your answer was in the affirmative when it's very obviously not. If we have to explain
When you say
we have to explain to you
just
the
let me
difference
explain it.
between
I'll
the
do a little bit.
African experience and the ADOS experience, and you think that those things are the same, then of course now when we start talking about differences in representation in media, that's a step past whether or not their experiences are the same. Because if
Yes.
their experiences were the same, then obviously it wouldn't matter when it applies to media representation. But when we already feel that that's not the same, then that means now that obviously everything else is going to follow like as a result of that. So if all of these things are downstream, I'm not going to go back to the point of inception, right, where the brook starts before it becomes the stream, and walk you through that whole process. And that's what you asked us to do. Put on the training wheels, explain to me how ADOS are different, and then after you've gone through those differences,
we don't
then
need
we can have a follow-up conversation about media. I'm not doing
no, we
that.
don't.
Nobody here is
But let
doing
me
that.
do it though. Just let me do it.
I'm not asking. I'm not
Let
asking.
me answer his question. Let me answer his question. I just want to do that. So I think there's a legitimate issue in the way that it's but not even necessarily is Africans, but not even directly African. It's actually specifically British Africans are seen are overrepresented in Black media and telling like Black American stories. If you look at all of our late, like I think Daniel Kaluuya, I think he's a good actor. Don't get me wrong, but Daniel Kaluuya is now playing like 50% of the Black characters we see on TV, and obviously that's an exaggeration. But him, the character from Snowfall.
Does he decide? Is he the one who's deciding his roles, or?
Elba, I don't think he's American. I don't think he's.
Who you talking about?
Idris Elba? I don't think he's American.
Yeah, Idris Elba. Yeah, like they're like when it comes from a person who's not Black American, when it comes from a non-ADOS person, it seems to be at least specifically in the media element that you brought up. They're seen,
and this is what I agree with, and I do think this is a problem. Yes, and this is initially.
Why do you think it's a problem?
I didn't blame the African. But
hold on. Wait. I want to see if Sly can make it there. Sly, why is it a problem?
I mean, it's definitely a problem because they're choosing over the roles. There is an issue where large roles are being taken from African Americans by other Africans outside of America to play those major roles. So that's an issue.
Why is that a problem?
But I think it's a problem in writing and who they're choosing.
Why?
What do you think?
No, we're not asking you you're saying that. You're saying that they're choosing, and I'm asking you, why do you think choosing them over a ADOS person is a problem, given that you think the experience and the representation is all the same? So why would you think that choosing a non-American African descendant over ADOS people is a problem? I'm trying to see if you can connect the dots, because you almost there, but now that you're smiling, you understand that I got you. Now you just lose your words.
No, I'm smiling because I'm going to go ahead and say what you want me to say, but initially what I was complaining about was not what you thought I was complaining about. I'll go ahead and say it. Yeah, there is an experience that cannot be replicated by an African, and these roles are being taken away, and that experience is not being represented.
Okay, boom. Next topic. Let's go.
I appreciate it, bro.
Did I get there? Is that what you wanted me to say? But that was not what I was complaining initially.
Close enough.
It's not what I was complaining about initially.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like again, I think that the larger problem y'all are having is just not a big engagement in modern media. I think that the Black stories, the Black people by the Black people, like whatever criteria you want to fit, I think that is for the most part happening right now. Like,
yeah, I mean, I always say that I don't watch a lot of media, so my opinion is skewed by that.
It could
and
be
I said
based
that
from like 2010, like or whenever.
No. I'm just saying the things there's not many things that I watch and I go, that could be me. That doesn't happen often, ever, almost. Like, it just doesn't exist, almost, to me. And that's probably why I don't watch television any more than I do now. And I watch like once every fucking blue moon. But this is probably why, because I don't get that when I watch stuff, even if it's quote unquote Black. I don't get that.
Can I ask you guys? Does Idris Elba, Daniel Kaluuya, do they choose those roles themselves to be chosen?
Nobody is saying
over African.
Wait. You understand how ridiculous
it's not their fault for being
not a question.
chosen.
Wait, you don't think that they're auditioning for the roles? You don't think you think the roles are given to them against their will? What is this question, bro?
No. Okay. So
on,
Buddy from
man.
Star
This-
Wars, Damson.
so the-
Idris,
okay.
Like, it's a
No,
show
no.
like this.
Crazy.
No. I see what's going on. No, I see what's going on. I'll rhetorically change how I'm talking because Fanatic expects me when he says things to expect him that when he's saying something, it's smart. But when I say it, he's assuming that I'm making the dumbest point possible.
Okay,
but
wait,
you know
stop
what?
right there.
I'll
No, not me.
change my
No,
rhetoric.
Everyone else
no,
here.
I'll change
Everyone
my
else,
rhetoric
tell me.
altogether.
Smooth, Gambit, Prime, Black, Bam. Tell me what this nigga was saying. I'm not psycho, bro. No, someone else. Tell me what he was trying to say in that statement.
No, I was saying the most
Don't
stupidest
You're
thing.
trying to lie
I was
and
saying the
pretend
most
as if I'm
stupid.
doing
No,
something charitable. I'm not
I
an
was saying the
uncharitable
stupid
nigga.
thing.
Nobody here knows what you're saying.
No, I was
No
saying
one.
the most stupid
Bam,
things,
Bam,
man.
you
I was
got
saying the
nothing
most
to say
stupid thing,
entire
Fanatic.
time. You've been the most charitable person.
I was saying some shitty shit.
right
I was
now
saying
what he
some
was saying.
shitty dumbass shit.
No, style. No, you put that out there. You're trying to imply that I'm being uncharitable, and I'm saying good. If that's what's the case.
What do you think I meant?
I'm willing.
Fanatic, what the fuck did you think I meant?
Style. Here, listen. I'll lower.
What the fuck do you think I meant? Why do you think I asked that question?
Style. I'll lower my voice for you. It's this simple. If you're trying to imply that I'm being uncharitable to you and I didn't know what you were saying, I'm giving the challenge to the other 5 black men in this room that are sitting here with you and asking if any of them interpreted it in any way different than what I did. Because I think that I'm being charitable and I just think you're shit with your words.
I think you're gonna disagree with what I thought you said, but I think you were making the argument that anyone here was blaming Africans, like it was Africans' fault that those people
They were getting the roles.
Yeah, is that what you were trying to say? Because if not, then I'm with Fanatic then. I didn't know what you meant.
That's the only point you could have been trying to make.
Prime, your turn. Since Bam didn't get it, do you know what he was saying?
I
didn't think so.
No. Fanatic, I'm gonna answer. I had a similar thought, Fanatic, as to what you were saying, and I thought that he was saying that that they don't necessarily get to choose their roles. So that was my initial.
Smooth. Did you have a different interpretation?
Yeah, I really thought you were saying like Africans were just pulling up and just taking roles. Like they was literally tossing Michael B. Jordan out the window and just taking roles from him. Like that's what I thought you were saying.
So now, so instead of attacking me and accusing me of intentionally, I'm not a bad faith person. I don't do that on to people ever.
I don't believe in bad faith or good faith. I don't believe in that. So I don't think you were. I didn't think you were.
Well, you literally said it to me. You literally said, "Well, since Fanatic is gonna," I see when I say something, Fanatic is the worst interpretation.
To me, that
he said something. When no, it's not. That's not what's happening because Fanatic happens to be the most eloquent nigga on this panel. Sucked myself. So when I use my words, people interpret me properly because I speak eloquently. You're bad with your words, so don't ever put yourself in the same place as me because that's not what's happening here.
But that's not what I was trying.
Can we split the difference between today's Fanatic and Fanatic?
All right, man. Listen.
Yesterday I was on my panel. Today we get to be on Primes. I get to flip out.
Because I'm curious what he actually meant. Because like I said, I didn't misunderstand. So
no. When I said that, I was implying that it's not the fault of those of African actors. So we need to look and focus in.
Which all of us understand.
Blaming him. That's what
that's what Bam said. Hold on, wait. You thought we were delusional and we didn't understand that the problem was we literally talked about targeted hiring actors and writers and everything earlier. You thought we didn't understand that?
What
did you think we thought? What did you think
you
we
said
thought?
no, and I brought it up earlier. And because I'm thinking about what needs to change. Right, I'm thinking about what needs to change in these roles and who we need to focus and target. Since you guys are looking for a specific type of black person to be specifically represented, then we need to specifically look at the person who is hiring people in major roles, not talking about nebulous people. And that I brought up initially.
You mean how Fanatic
let me finish. Let me fucking finish. Let me finish. What the fuck?
Fly.
Jesus. So when I said that we need to specifically, one place to start is the writers specifically and looking at the writers and people who are writing, because that's the area that you're going to then know that this is a change where you can make that change because this is something specific we're looking to change. But this whole conversation started out by mentioning
Fanatic talking about writers.
Right.
Oh, damn, it did.
No, not writers. He wasn't talking about writers. He was talking initially he was talking about the black representation and like not having that representation. It was black representation. But initially I thought when he said black representation, I thought he was including all black people, but obviously that was my bad.
You missed that entire part. Hold on. 1 second, Smooth. I promise this small. Go ahead.
Let me get my question off.
And by the way, English is my second language. I'm African. That's why my eloquency is not.
I knew he was a non-ADOS nigga. There was no way you could come to this conclusion being an ADOS. There's no possible way, and that's the obvious difference right there. That's why you don't know. It's crazy because I'm telling you, these non-FBA niggas always come up over here like projecting all sorts of stuff about like, no, it's really
all right. Now go ahead and group me. Go ahead and group me in there. Go ahead and group me in there.
I'm grouping you in. Yes, you're right. I am grouping you in with the non-FBA niggas that always try to imply that non-FBA niggas are really experiencing the same thing that they are. So therefore, when we can look at comparable numbers and see them outperform us in certain sectors, they say that's because it's our fault because they think they are facing an equal amount of oppression. So I am looping you in with that talking point because you did share that talking point and do share it now.
The reason that's said is because when someone's going to be racist towards you, they don't first ask you, "Are you African or are you African American?" They look at your skin color. That's the reason. That's the fucking reason why.
No, that's an actual factor.
No. So listen. I'm gonna go.
That's the reason why that's fucking said. But you know what? It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I get it.
There's a study done. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna drop it in the chat after this is done. Okay, there's a study done.
I never said it was the. I never said it was the same.
I'm finished. I'm smooth.
No, you did. You actually did.
We were talking about a prestigious thing, being a medical professional. Okay, they literally go out of their way to hire people that aren't standard African Americans. They go out of their way. They're like, oh, how can I get representation? I'll go find an African, and boom, there's our black guy. They literally go out of their way. It's already been proven in other sectors. Do you think they wouldn't do it in film?
And by the way, I've agreed with you guys. I said Fanatic had a point here. All along, I've said Fanatic had a point.
Okay, what was your larger point from before that we misinterpreted? I really have not.
Yeah,
we didn't.
He was saying that. He was saying it's the people that hire.
You thought it correctly. I just didn't. I didn't rhetorically say it right.
Okay. All right.
And you were right on Prime.
Okay.
On what I said.
Okay. So yeah, I'll try to.
So wait.
That. What?
Oh well. Okay. Never mind. I was trying to ask him a question, but no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just going to engage with that.
No, go ahead.
So it makes, so that you're saying that it's the fault of the studios, right? That the studios are, focusing on hiring these other people. I mean, I think that might be fair. If there's a preference, right? They have a white preference, and they'll hire white actors, right? If that's your larger point, then I guess.
But yeah, like that's what we all agree with. Whenever we were saying there's an issue with the African dynamic, it wasn't on like the issue isn't Africans. I'm not gonna tell nobody not to eat, nobody not to take roles. I fold the same position for colorism. Like I don't blame light skinned women for like taking up a lot of like acting positions. It's not their fault that they get picked. It's we need.
But I don't think they were saying. I don't think Fanatic. I don't think Smooth, and I don't think Yes You Can. But we're necessarily saying that it was their fault. And I could be incorrect. Maybe if you guys can.
No,
they were not saying that.
Yeah, that they were just saying that it's a shame that this is the case. Like, and they would want it to be different. That more actors, ADOS actors, would be hired. And if you guys don't know ADOS, African Descendants of Slavery, in case you don't know, at home.
There's a better phrase, FBA, Foundation of Black Americans. Both of them work.
Yeah. Shitati's phrase.
FBA is a little bit better because I don't like. I love the ADOS thing when that came out last year. But no, I don't know anything about the movement. It's just I hate having to say I'm a descendant of slavery. Like it's like so FBA. I like FBA more now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
FBA is great.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I
that's
don't
fine.
know about the movements that are connected to it. But
Oh my
no, the
goodness.
thing I was
Just
going to
Tariq
ask,
Nasheed and them.
the thing that I
Yeah,
was going to
listen,
ask,
I'm joking. Really quick, if I can just, I swear it'll be just half a second. I'm just joking about like, oh, I prefer FBA to ADOS and all that. I really don't know what the distinction is, and it really is gross to me that there's already divisions that were literally some of the specific heritage.
hold on, you cut out.
Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
he did cut out.
I was
Well-
saying I was saying that I don't know the difference. I'm just saying I think there's already it's ridiculous that we already have some difference in the division between two groups trying to signify a specific heritage of blackness within this country. I don't like that. So I'm joking about that whole FBA ADOS thing. I don't care.
Well, the issue, I think the distinction is the FBA. It's a big overlap with the Hebrew Israelite community. Like they believe that like black people were the original Native Americans and we were like all already here. That's
I've heard people say that before.
Mm.
And
But,
I'm like,
that-
Jesus, you think the
That's what I mean
whole
by foundational. Like,
Atlantic
they're saying
slave
it was always
trade
here.
was? Oh, okay.
Like
I didn't know that.
they have FBA has some problems and ADOS has its problems too. Like they're not perfect. They're not perfect organizations at all.
There
Well,
are
none of
actual
them are
organizations. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
The movement, yeah, their whole organizations and movements, like their whole thing, like they both have their real deep problems because they get laser focused and they ignore the things that happen on the outside of what they're talking about. And thus, if they took a more broad approach, they would actually include each other and they become just one organization. But because that one is laser focused on, as someone in the chat said, reparations, which is fine, that's ADOS, and then FBA, I don't know what their thing is, their stick particularly, but I noticed that both of them have similar talking points. It's just they're not what they should be as far as black organizations go. I think it's more so like somebody's just trying to lead at the end
It's
of the day.
right wing propaganda to be anti-immigrant. Like they're saying, like if we can buy into the right wing propaganda and kick out all the immigrants, then they'll finally give black people.
Which group says that?
ADOS, like generally.
Yeah,
Like
ADOS was bugging like in early 2021. Like that was wild. Like
they say that like we can replace
stuff.
welfare. Like we'll never need welfare again in the country. Anything if they could just give us like we'll bow down if y'all just cut the check. Like we'll give up everything else, throw it all away for the check, which is like really weird to me. But
I mean, I
that's
understand wanting reparations, but yeah,
Like
maybe there's some
Master,
weird
please give me
reasons.
some money.
Yeah, but hold on. I want to ask Sly one question because I want to make sure that because what I was getting from you is exactly what you said that we were like unfairly grouping you in, right? So I was getting some of those vibes. So I just want to ask you, like, when you think about black culture and by black, think ADOS or like not the whole black, right? Like the subset of black that is African descendants of slavery. Do you think there's something? Do you think that the biggest issue facing our culture is our culture, or do you think the external factors of oppression and other things are more of an issue? Which one would you rate as the biggest issue when you say, hey, I think this is the problem with ADOS Americans?
I would say I don't know. Like the issue for me, it's hard to point out because my real
Gambit worded it hard for him.
yeah,
I'll be
like
honest.
no.
Just
If
because I don't think Sly's American, not because it's impossible for
if-
him to understand.
No, he did not. Please, Gambit, please restate the question. It was not
do you think
difficult.
do you think that black
He
Americans don't
asked the
work as
question.
hard?
Let him answer it, bro. It was not difficult to understand.
Do you think ADOS?
no,
I think he understands.
ask it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you think ADOS Americans' biggest issue is the ADOS American culture or the oppressive forces around the ADOS American culture?
The oppressors, for sure.
I feel like you just ran to that now because you don't want to defend the opposite.
No. The
I'm
reason
just asking him questions. It's bad.
I'm the
just
new
asking,
guy.
we're talking.
Listen, I'm the fucking new
Talking,
guy.
bro. I don't care about anybody being new. We just talking, bro. We talking. I want to let you know that that's the vibe I was picking up, and I want to give you space to defend that. That's not your idea. That's what I was thinking.
No, also the reason why like the additional answer I'd give is I think there isn't enough that's been done on by Africans to sort of like put out an olive branch to work with African descendants of slavery. I think that like there is a lot of room for growth there in connection with each other that I think because African Americans are so caught up in fighting this other fight, they like for me I feel like there needs to be more done by Africans, and I personally in my real life I try to do that, but there just isn't enough done because part of it is because there's a picture that's been painted, and a lot of Africans have this picture that's been
For sure.
painted, and that picture that's been painted is what is the first part of what you asked me,
Exactly.
and
100%.
that's in the minds of Africans.
But that's
of a
why
lot
I
of
asked you,
African
because I have like not a lot, but I have quite a few like really good African friends. And when we've had conversations, we all went to college together, so we met in college.
Yeah.
And how they told it to me was, yo, like, you don't understand how a lot of people in Africa view black people in America or ADOS people in America. And I didn't even know that there was this wild racism against ADOS people until I like wouldn't start looking into stuff and researching stuff and like
It
talking
exists.
to them. And,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that. So when I thought you were of that ilk, which is why
That
some
was
of the
my
statements
mistake.
that you said, I have taken them how
I
I've
can
taken
see
them,
that.
and I wanted to
see
give
that.
you
Yeah.
your space.
I can see
to-
that now. The way I used the rhetoric, I got a little too comfortable, but I can see why now thinking back, I can see why my statements could come off in that way if we don't make this clarity.